Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TbT channel. Here is another video I've dragged out of the archives. This one's on guns that are just a little bit pointless but fun. Please like, subscribe, hit notifications and enjoy the following. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Nick from TbT, www.airrifletuning.com, and today I'm doing a video on garden guns. Now, the term garden gun in the UK especially, when we think of a gun to use in a garden, we'll think of air rifles. That's what we do, that's what we use. They're brilliant for target shooting, pest control, whatever you want to use it for. An air rifle is the thing to have. But elsewhere, garden gun is a term that's used to cover small bore, usually rimfire powered, smooth barreled guns, shotguns effectively. So what we're going to do today is have a look at some of these. I shoot everything. I love shooting. Air rifles usually, run-of-the-mill firearms occasionally, but anything out of the ordinary always catches my eye, especially if it's a bit crap. So what I've got here are 3 European garden guns. They're all cheaply made. Until the late 90s here in France, you could buy these without a licence in a supermarket. They were just mass produced and put out there for people to use. The low power means you can use it around your crops, you know, your allotment, in the garden, in the shed, around the barns. It's not going to do any damage to the surroundings or other livestock with ricochets. So it's fantastic for what it is. But the ones I have here today, I have 3 different calibers, and we're going to start off with this one here. You can see it's open, empty. This is an Anschutz 2.2 shotgun. On the on the side here, it's actually got written 2.2 long shot. I think that's actually a reference to the chances of you actually hitting your target. It's a bit unusual. It's well enough made. It's an Anschutz. It's got adjustable open sights on it, which is unusual for a smoothbore gun. But these can also be used with 2.2 long rifle bullets, so you know it's quite a versatile thing to own. With 2.2 shot rounds, you may have seen them. They've been around for quite a long time. Usually people's experience of shooting a 2.2 shot shell is through a rifled 2.2 rifle, and what that does is as the shot goes down, it goes around the rifle in, and as it comes out it just goes blah like that. 3 metres, 10 feet away, there's no group whatsoever. So there is this impression that 2.2 shot is completely useless. It isn't. It isn't. Through a smoothbore, you can keep a good pattern out past 10 metres. Not particularly strong, but a good pattern. So it isn't absolutely useless, it's just pretty much useless. But it's good fun. I mean, with 2.2 shot, it's good for, we have Asian Hornets at the moment. Asian Hornets on the wing, under 10 metres, it's proper sport. Also you can shoot through here, apart from the 2.2 long, there are these things here, they're called CB caps or Flowbert. They're tiny little 6mm rounds with conical or ball end on them, that just use the propellant from the rimfire, from the actual actuator that would set off the powder charge to propel them. They do about 18 foot-pounds. I've tested them through this and through rifled guns. They are useless. They really are useless. But 2.2 long you can use through this, absolutely no problem at all. But for the garden, these little things here, this is a 2.2 short. So it's got a powder charge in there, it's just got a shorter case than usual, it's just a 28 grain bullet. These come out at about 60 foot-pound. Hardly any noise, nice and quiet, and at 20 metres, which for one of these with open sights in a garden is pretty much it, you can get a group of three shots. I just shot about 10 minutes ago and they were under 10pence. So with open sights, a smoothbore barrel, 20 metres, 60 foot-pound, for most allotments that's going to do it. Put shot shells into it. You can use it for mice around the shed, rats at very close range. There you go. A little bit more about 2.2 shotguns. Well, if you're the same age as me or a similar age to me, you might have read Gunmart a lot as a kid or as a teenager. And in Gunmart there was always adverts for BSA 22 shotguns, and they are always between 5 and 20 quid, and you could get them from single shot to 5-shot magazine, 10 shot, 15 shot. And it's like, what's that all about then? And then there was a company called Jaeger, and they made reproductions or copies of the M16 and AK-47, and they did those in 2-2 shotgun. Basically a semi-automatic, when you're allowed to have them, a semi-automatic smoothbore 2-2, so you could own a replica semi-automatic AK-47 on a shotgun certificate. A bit of fun, but in today's world, you know, an air rifle is probably more useful than this, but it's interesting, which is why I've got it. I'm going to put that one to one side. The next one I have here is another Anschutz. Very similar in design, slightly different stock. I think this one's a bit older, smaller stock. Nice little Schnabel forend on it though. Again, empty. This one is in 9mm. Now I've got several 9mm handguns and stuff like that, but this is a 9mm Flowbert. Again, it's a rimfire, designed to shoot these little shot cartridges. They're a useful thing. They're subsonic for a start, so I think it's about 8 grams I want to say, of shot comes out of these at about 600 feet a second. So again, it isn't noisy, it doesn't upset the neighbours. Through a smoothbore barrel like this, the pattern's quite good, and at 10 metres it'll easily kill a rat first shot every time. It's a useful little tool. Again, it does have adjustable open sights on it though, which means you can use these. It's another Flowbert rimfire cartridge, but this one's in 9mm. These, again, they're coming out around about, I think it's 600 or 700 feet a second. I did put it over chrono, it's running out at 40 foot-pound, so whatever that works out to with the weight of the... So quite devastating at short range if you hit something. My tests have shown so far the chances of you hitting anything past 20 metres with this is slim. So rifling the barrel is something I might do, which is legal here. I'm allowed to do that because these aren't licensed guns. Rifling it may help, it might not, I don't know. It's a lot of effort to go to just to fire something that's really quite expensive to buy anyway, when the 9mm shot does the trick. So there we are, a little 9mm shotgun, single shot again, bolt action. Great for rats to 10 metres. They're used in orchards as well for birds in the trees, but you know, shooting birds, I don't know, I don't think we do that anymore. Certainly not man enough for a pigeon at anything past point blank range. I'll pop him to one side. And the last one I've got here is something a little bit more that we'd be familiar with in the UK. This is very nearly a 410, but it's chambered for 2-inch. So rather than the 2.5 inch or the 3-inch Magnum that we're used to, this is chambered just for a 2-inch shell, and that classifies it here as being a 12mm, because that's the diameter of that part there, a 12mm shotgun. So it doesn't require a licence. These are made in France. This is made by a company called Manu France, and these were made by the, I want to say million, but I don't know how many, many, and they are everywhere. Very cheaply made, but functional. Usually the problem with these is usually when you get hold of it, because people didn't need a licence to buy it, because it wasn't an expensive gun in the first place, they usually just sat in a shed and gently moulded away. This one was pretty rusty when I got it. The inside of the bore was okay, but pretty rusty on the outside, and the woodwork was terrible, but I stripped it all back, cleaned it all up. It is full choke, and with these little cartridges here, and by the way, these little cartridges may only be a 2-inch cartridge holding, it doesn't tell me how many grams on there, 8. Oh no, this is the 8 gram one. Here we are, 8 grams of shot in it, but over the chrono they're coming out 1200 feet a second, which gives the total power as being just under 400 foot-pounds. but again, because it's a shotgun, once it's got past 20 yards or so, everything's dispersed. It's safer than firing a 2.2 long rifle. It's a useful little tool. You can use this on pretty much anything that you would find in the garden, up to rabbits at close range. And that kind of brings us up to where normal 410s would start, with the 2.5 inch, but that's for a different day and a different video. I've got a Webley and Scott, which you'll see I've got a video on that, so I'm having a bit of a man crush on that gun at the moment. But I thought I'd show you these little low powered shotguns because they're interesting. They have a use, although limited, but I hope you enjoyed seeing them anyway. We'll do a pattern test at some point at 10 metres and possibly 15 metres, depending on how it gets on. But for now, this is just an overview of what they look like. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.